Hello, Dr. Mohammed in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. See more better here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, but call me Mo because I'm Have You Seen Mo Better, looking Mo Better, and I'm going to show everyone else how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. When I cut from some 174 Transitions Generation 8 Gray with Crizal Sapphire for your own Thom Brown frame that you have mailed to me. Let me cut lenses for it and then I will mail them to you. Let me put that aside for now. This is your frame. Great vintage looking frame. Comes with a cleaning cloth that's in there. And comes with little 2 plastic sleeves, one on each temple to protect the frame from, and I'm going to put that on there when I ship to you. Now this is a titanium frame. Very good, very strong frame. First time I've ever cut lenses for a Thom frame. I really like the notched nose pads, the titanium nose pads that are on there. But let me begin by taking out the original demo lenses. This is, I thought it was take that one out. Take this one out. Anytime you're working on a frame with metal frame with screws, it's good to have. I have a tray here with a paper towel that's going to act as a soft buffer should any of these lens screws pop out when I'm installing and removing the lenses. If anyone out there at home has a frame like this, you want to get a baking dish, put a t-shirt or a dish towel or a paper towel in there, so if the screw comes out, it doesn't hit a flat surface and go onto the floor. It lands on something soft and stays in the pan. So I'm going to put your frame into the tracing element of my blocker. Program this shape into the computer. You are Secret Agent 2601. And actually, let me get that paper clip out of the way so it'll trace. That way, years from now, should you ever need new lenses for this frame, I can mail them right to your home and you can install them when you see how to do it when I'm done. Hit the start button, a little stylus is going to pop up. Go around, trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy any genuine, authentic frame that I sell, and you'll receive 1 free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or unused health savings account, flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase. I don't know how it works in Saudi Arabia, but hats off to Dr. Thom, who's on the front line. Dr. Thom, listen to me. Dr. Mohammed, who's on the front lines battling the coronavirus, which is worldwide at this point. Today is actually Easter Monday, April 13th. And everyone's got to do their part. No one is exempt. So that frame has been traced. I have the shape there. I'm going to move on to the next screen. Enter your pupillary distance, which is 33 for each eye, a total of 66. I only have to go up +1. I do want to raise the optical center up to 24. Let me do that. I'm going to go 2 above to 24. And now I need to get your lenses prepped. Your right eye reads -6 1/4, -50 at 160. I'm going to turn the axis wheel to 160. Put the power drum on minus. Let me make sure everything's on 0. And it is. Put it on -6 1/4. And Dr. Mohammed, I do thank you for your time. Everything is going a little bit slower in this country due to the coronavirus. Nothing is getting shipped from Essilor as fast as it normally does. I'm just glad that someone is still there and still working, getting things out for people. Speaking of which, I need to order some lenses, so hang on 1 second. Okay, where was I? Thanks for your patience. I just realized when I looked at my watch, it's 5:15. I always like to have my orders placed by 5:30 or 6. For everyone who purchased over the weekend, I need to get the lenses ordered so they would come in tomorrow. The nice thing about some of the stock lenses, those are the lenses you see that come in a paper packet. They have a chat surface on the cart where I place the lenses, and they were there today. I was kind of surprised they were shipping on Easter Monday, but hey, okay, so -6 1/4, -6 1/4. I just want to check the astigmatism correction at -50. We are good there. I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses, although you know what? I think this lens is upside down. I'm going to rotate it. Still on 160, put a 6 1/4. I want to use the top half of the lens. And I was actually doing the bottom half. So whoever, the labs, when they mark R and L, they have no reference to top and bottom. They're just marking it and getting it done, and I should have not trusted that. So let me put my own R on here for right, for Riyadh, and let's do the same thing for the left, knowing how they do things. 160, we're going to turn it to 25. Put the power drum on -3 1/4. Rotate the lens until the spherical component comes into view first. Yeah, I am using the top half of the lens. Actually, no, I'm not. Okay, hang on. There we go. -3 1/4. Tell you what, I have a couple days off for the holidays, and I'm rusty when I come back. I'm not only rusty, I am in a lot of pain. Not for the coronavirus, but give me a couple days off this time of year, and I was working in my yard. I have raised beds that are 50 feet long and 4 foot wide, and being an organic gardener, I weed by hand, and I was on my hands and knees doing a lot of weeding, spreading mulch for the wife in the backyard. Label that one L for left, and you guys missed any of that. Let me recap. I've been a sloth all winter, then I go out and get some exercise this time of year, and I am in pain. Oh, let me stretch, get these, work those old muscles off. I'm getting too old to garden. So, this is the block, or as I like to call it, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting, so I need 2 double-sided adhesive stickers. Now see, that's the amount of work I like doing, just peeling that off. Let me see there. Oh. I'm getting 10 yards of aged composted, well, compost that's been heated and sterilized, and I'm going to top dress my beds. I'm hoping 10 yards is enough. It's the largest dump truck they have that they're going to deliver to my home. So I've got the PD done. The blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. Your eye is just above that in inset. Make sure the lens is large enough, and it is. Hit that button, the arm's going to come down, place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the lens that ain't right, which I can identify with. I ain't right either. Pull the paper away and make the magnet. Same pupillary distance, same optical center height. Too many dots on these lenses. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. Get everything lined up. Alright, hang on. Always like to double check. I haven't mailed these things so far and how long everything takes. I don't want to mess anything up. Not even if it was to be done overnight. Take my time and do it right. So this is the edger. This is what costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter. Then you can cut your own lenses at home, and you will need this sore guy with the 2 thumbs and sore muscles to do them for you. The actual cutting wheel is this diamond crusted wheel that's going to grind away your lens material from this size down to this size. This wheel in the center is going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I'm going to wake up the computer. Job ID number 2601. 2601. Now these are high index 174, 1.74 refractive index. So I mark that, the high index button. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lens, even though some of it will be exposed, because he's in a very sunny location. The main reason I don't like to polish edges is that it lets glare in. Crizal Sapphire, which he has on these lenses, is a front and back surface coating. When you polish the edge of the lens, you now let light in through the sides and through the top. And it seems it defeats the purpose of paying for anti-glare when you're voluntarily allowing it into the frame. So I am going to put a very light safety bevel on the front of the lens, because these are high index polycarbonate. I wouldn't have to worry about it, but being high index I will. But I'm going to put a slightly heavier bevel on the back surface of the lens. I'm going to press the block on there firmly, place the magnet into the chuck, hit the start button, the door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced by the 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame on the first go around. And then second, it's going to measure the thickness of the lens to know where to place the bevel, so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, of which is going to be difficult in a frame like this This is a stronger prescription and a skinny metal, so we'll just have to see how it goes. Now there's something you don't normally see. Water is spraying onto the lens from the beginning. That's because high index lenses and Trivex and regular plastic cut wet. Ooh, and that stinks. That smells like sulfur or rotten eggs. That's the one thing. It's almost like there's sulfur in the lens, and while it is cutting, it does not smell very good. It's a good thing you guys don't have smell-o-vision. But 1.74 refractive index is the thinnest lens you can get in this country. So a little check and balance system is going to drop back down again. There's plastic, and then polycarbonate is 40% thinner and lighter than plastic. There's 1.67 high index, which is 30% thinner and lighter than polycarbonate. And then the 1.74, forgive my math, I do not know the difference in that. So, how much thinner 174 is than 167, I do know it's the thinnest that you can get in this country. So now it's going around just double checking itself, seeing where to place the bevel. Now back to the polished edges. Some people will argue that your lenses look better from the sides with polished edges. And for the sake of argument, yes, you could say that it does cosmetically look better. But how many people are looking at the side of your face or looking at you head on? When you look at someone head on, when you have a polished edge, you have a ghostly skeletal ring going around the edge from the glare coming in and producing it on the edges of the lens. So cosmetically from the front, it makes it look much worse, in my opinion. And then, as I already covered, you're allowing glare into the lens. Here comes the bevel wheel that's going to smooth out the edges of the lens, doing a very light safety bevel on the front of the lens. And the reason why I put the safety bevel on there, polycarbonate does not chip. Plastic, high index plastic will, so I just want the edge of the lens to be buffered. Should he take the lens out and set it down like that, I do not want the edge of the lens to chip. Should he ever set them down this way on the counter, I do not want that front surface of the lens to chip. When you apply the safety bevel, it hardens it, it smooths off that edge, and you just don't have a sharp corner that can flake off. Okay, I'm gonna open that door with my mind. I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I can't, I just have to stare at it for a couple hours. So, I like that opaque finish on the edge of the lens to stop the glare from coming in. Let's see if it will fit first time around. I'm gonna come down over here with my Phillips head screwdriver, do a little bit of lefty-loosey. Being high index, I am going to take it out all the way, holding it upside down so the screw does not fall out. And again, if it does, it will land on something soft. I'm going to tuck the lens in. And very carefully pinch that back together, making sure everything's in the groove, and it is. I'm going to do very bad form. I'm going to tighten it while it's in my hand. I'm going to get started. The reason why it's bad form, if this were to slip, I would stab myself in the finger. Most opticians have a callus right there from doing that. So once it is started, I just want to again double check that everything's in the groove where it should be, and it is. I'm going to come down here, use the rubber stop, and apply more force. Actually, a little bit of the silver of the frame is showing, so it tells me it's not in there all the way. I'm going to loosen it back up again. Take the lens out. Press the sticker back on there firmly, place the magnet back into the chuck. I'm going to take 1/10 of a millimeter off, going around the circumference of the lens. I want to make sure everything fits perfectly. Now I'm going to keep my finger on there, but that side nothing is exposed. There was a little bit of silver for where it did not close, which is the original metal before it was painted. It's not going to the cutting wheel, it's just going to the bevel wheel, and it's going to take 1/10 of a millimeter off, going around the circumference of the lens until it fits in there easily. Back to the safety bevel. Finished with the front of the lens. Now it's going to apply it again to the back surface of the lens. Essentially it's a very fine grit sandpaper just to smooth everything out. Can you see the texture of the material swirling around there? Is my camera good enough to pick that up? Okay. Remove it, dry everything off. Okay, let's try again, keeping it upside down so I don't drop the screw. Tuck everything inside the groove. Demonstrate improper form till I know it gets started. Again, double check that everything is exactly where it should be, and then place it on this rubber stop so I can apply more force to it. The reason why I put it against that stop is I don't want to mar the finish of the frame against a hard surface like the wood, and now it matches this side. So it shows me that it's in there really good. So we're going to flip this over to L, and let's just take it down. Even though I took out 1/10, I'm going to go back up 1/20 of a step. In fact, let's just go ahead and put it back to 0. Since you have such a difference in power between your right and left, I want everything to be perfect. Hit the start button. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts. It's going to trace the shape of the left lens this time. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape of the left lens. And then measuring the thickness of the lens to know where to place the bevel for the least amount of edge thickness showing. And look at that. Not bad if you ask me. So, the nice thing about this frame, it has a little bit more of a lip than most metal frames do to help hide the edge thickness. So let's go ahead and take this block off. Add to my sticker collection. Turn the axis wheel back to 160. Put it in over that black dot. Read the power, and I am getting -6 1/4. One tick mark past 6. That's because, let me see, 6 times 4, 24. You're on the 25th rung of a ladder. Your prescription is -6 1/4. There's a minus sign. With your glasses off, everything is much too large. Of course, he can see his fingerprint like nobody's business, but beyond arm's reach, everything starts to get blurry. So he's got 25 steps of far-sided correction. Now, once everything is the correct size, there's 2 steps of astigmatism correction. Uncorrected astigmatism makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. Think of it as the fine-tune knob, but we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 160. A straight line is 0 to 90 to 180. So we're on the 160th meridian. We're gonna check the power of that, and we end up at minus 675, one tick mark away from 7. That's because you add 2 like signs together, 6 1/4 and minus 50 makes 675. Now for your left eye, you have 13 steps of farsighted correction, but then you have another 11 steps of astigmatism correction. So you have only 2 steps, half a diopter in your right eye, but almost 3 full diopters in your left. Now these first 2 numbers are real values to be concerned with. This last number could be anywhere from 0 to 180. In fact, a straight line, 0 and 180 are the same number. At 160, you're 20 degrees away from the 180 meridian over here. Your left eye would turn that fine-tune knob to 25. So you're actually 25 degrees away from the 180 meridian here. So 25 on this eye, 20 on that eye. That leaves you only 5 degrees of separation from you and Kevin Bacon's prescription. Yeah. If you can think of a funnier joke, write it down on a $100 bill and mail it to me, and I will read it on the air and give you credit for the joke. You don't even have to include your name. I'll recognize your handwriting. Look at all that little swirling around. That's that sulfur in there before it drains off the sides. Alright, let's see if this one fits first time around. I'm going to take it out of the Chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby, or today it's called the Dr. Mohammed. So, grab your frame. I'm going to do a little bit of lefty-loosey here. Now if these were polycarbonate, I wouldn't have to take the screw all the way out, but because they are high index, I do not want to flake the edge of the lens. With the pros come the cons. It's the thinnest lens material that you can get, but it is not unbreakable like polycarbonate. So, I can almost tell that this one's going to need to come down some more, but I'm going to double check. It just doesn't feel like it even wants to grip, so I'm going to come down here. Yeah, not even close. Okay, let's take it down 1/10 of a millimeter. Now I know this one's taking a little bit longer than normal, but because I'm shipping to Saudi Arabia, I want everything to be perfect. Even if I was shipping next door, I would want everything to be perfect. So again, I'm going to take it off 1/10 of a millimeter. Better safe than sorry. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra at the beginning. You want a perfectionist like me, I cut every pair of lenses that gets shipped worldwide, quite literally. And I want to make sure everything is perfect on the first go round. It's not like you can just walk around the corner and come into my lab to fix things. Speaking of international shipping, here's what I do. I charge $35 up front for international shipping because it varies from country to country. And then if it ends up being $21 shipping, I would refund $14 back to your PayPal account. Or in some countries, if it ships a little faster, I would tell you that, hey, you want to use the other $11 to ship quicker? I'll put the ball in your court to use sports terms and let you decide. I can expedite shipping, which is roughly 7 to 10 days. That costs about $67, almost double the regular $35. But some people like that option. I'm so much cheaper than what it is in their own country that even though it costs more to ship, to get expedited shipping, it still ends up being a lot cheaper than what they would have. He was telling me he can't even get 174 in his country or even in the transitions. So that's why he's purchasing from me. All right. Release the chuck. Dry everything off. Make sure there's no optical sawdust there. Keeping the frame upside down. Tuck that in. Make sure it is in the groove. Keeping my thumbnail on that screw. Alright, that's in the groove now. I'm going to take it down a little bit more. Little bit more. Sorry, you're going to have to put up with me for another 1/20th of a millimeter. So I did a 1/10 of a millimeter on the right lens. I'm going to do 0.15 on the left. In fact, let me go ahead and mark that. Minus 0.10 for the right eye. We'll see what it ends up being for the left. And then years from now, should you need new lenses, I will know exactly how much I need to take them down for them to fit like these do. Document, document, document. Alright. Even though the combined power was less than the right, it's just how the astigmatism lines up. The thickness of the lens at different points of meridian, going around the circumference, that is. The radius, not the meridian. Making sure everything's tucked in. There, that's in there better this time. That's matching the other side. Let's take that block off. Pull the stick away, add to that collection right on here. That took it down 0.15. Put it in over that black dot. Turn the, well, I guess I don't need that whole tray. Turn the axis wheel to 25. Which corresponds with the astigmatism correction of your left eye. Put it in over the black dot. Read the power. I'm getting minus 3 1/4, minus 3 1/4. Now you have 2.75 diopters of astigmatism correction. If all goes well, we end up at minus 6. So that is perfect. Pupillary distance is 66 for both eyes. Turn the card around, place the PD stick. Actually, hang on, let me darken this so you can see. It was barely there. Place the PD stick on my thumb, and when we get to the left lens, we're getting 66 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. Let me, what is I gonna do? Let me clean this off. Once it is clean, I will get the frame in standard alignment. Also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter. Actually, one side is up other than the other. Let me adjust for that. So they sit level with no wobble. Flip them over, press down, there is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do, that neither temple is askew. When I say askew, I mean like that. Now, get my fingerprints all over these things again. Just a moment, I will go ahead and activate these, meaning I'm going to expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light. But first, I send out a selfie request in every package. Dr. Mohammed, I would love to have your picture on the website. 2 of them, actually. One with them clear indoors when you're at the hospital. One with them dark when you're outside, and something that is very typically Saudi Arabia. I'm working on my international selfies for the website, and I would love to have yours on there. I also send out cleaning instructions, not only for your frame and lenses, but also for the cleaning cloths that come, the premium microfiber one that I provide. You've got the Crizal cloth and then your Thom brown cloth. But this is what your lenses look like before they have been activated. So I'm going to expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light. Now, as you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken, a little bit longer when you come back inside. A minute to a minute 15. Now, this is important. Everyone pay attention. All photochromic transition lenses will turn dark on day 1 and continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks are exposed. After that, they will work for years at maximum performance. The only time they won't work is if you're behind the windshield of a car. Your windshield absorbs the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays that would cause your dashboard to crack from sitting in the sun all day, and that's why they don't turn dark in a car. Now, if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, they will darken. They're also temperature sensitive, meaning they will get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. Now, there is the Transitions Extra Active available in different materials. Unfortunately, at this time, there is no Extra Active in the 1.74 high index material. And being in Saudi Arabia, I'm sure it's above 85 degrees almost every day of the year. But this is what they look like the first time they've been exposed. They're going to keep getting lighter and lighter as I keep talking. So if you like this video, do just that. Like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the bell icon so you can get future notifications of different frame and lens combinations as I make them. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as Free Prescription Lenses, on Twitter as Free RX Lenses. If you have any questions, you can go to the Contact Me page of the website. Let me know what prescription you want into what frame. That's what Dr. Mohammed did. He had this frame picked out. He actually ordered them from London, had them shipped to me, and then I cut the lenses to go in there. But yeah, so Dr. Mohammed, not only thanks for what you're doing and on the front lines with this coronavirus, but thank you for the purchase of your high index 174 high index lenses with the Transitions Generation 8 grade lenses with Crizal Sapphire. And now hopefully everyone else has gotten a chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.